This is Sky News, Australia's news channel.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Carson Scott. The quest to find the best when it comes to local companies expanding offshore and needing access to the best lawyers in their market of choice. It's just gotten a whole lot easier with the Australian launch this week of Attorney Consulting Services International. It's promising cost-efficient access to the best lawyers, both at home and abroad, tapping a network of more than 100,000 lawyers from the world's top 200 law firms. So how does it work? And indeed, how to keep the cost below market-level pricing structures. Founder and chairwoman of ACSI, Beatrice O'Brien, joining me now. Welcome to you. I've abbreviated it accordingly, and it's intriguing because there are other players out there. How do you brand yourself and get your name out in what's quite a cluttered market, with Chambers and Partners sort of #1 out there in people's headspace?
Well, Attorney Consulting Services International, ACSI, is a global legal consulting firm that provides the most cost-effective and time-efficient access to lawyers, both internationally and domestically. It is a unique service in the sense that it is the only kind of service worldwide that mitigates the cost and mitigates the risks and uncertainties that companies and businesses face when they're actually trying to obtain legal representations overseas.
Just to clarify that point, mitigates the cost. There is still cost involved in the search, correct?
That's correct.
So how does it mitigate in that strict sense of the word?
It mitigates it by sourcing out from our network of member law firms and lawyers that are vast. And as you mentioned, there's about 100,000 lawyers involved in the group, as well as over 200. So what we do is basically source out and make sure that the law firm that we put to the companies understand the industry, understand the technical know-how, basically understand the local and political jurisdictions that they're seeking advice into.
How do you practically guarantee, though, the best lawyers in that whole process as you've just outlined? Because that's a very bold, it's a very strong promise to make to clients. But how are you keeping on top of those same said lawyers at any given point in the cycle to know they are the best in breed?
Because they have actually proven, while we've been in the bidding process, as to the capacity that they have to ensure that they understand what the company is requiring.
But who actually ranks? Because unlike, for instance, I just want to understand the process. If you look at Chambers and Partners, which is still #1, the latest survey by International In-House Counsel, 20,000 in-house counsel from around the world, to ask if they used directories to identify law firms and individuals, which would they use. So Chambers is right up there as the benchmark. And they have a vast team of researchers who are constantly updating that Bible of global sector analysts. Now, that's a very time-consuming process.
Well, it's one thing to actually research and provide someone a telephone directory of lawyers. It's another thing to actually have practice in those jurisdictions with those attorneys and give them the right solutions. This is not about looking at your network and saying, okay, X, Y, and Z firm is going to do that job. It's to actually figure out exactly what technical expertise the company wants in order to make it fit with the law firm.
It's the top 200. Now, the fact that you're going to the top 200 firms, how do you therefore become cost competitive? Because already you're ruling out a swathe of talent, are you not, below that?
Well, I think it's a misnomer to say that it's only the top 200 law firms. We have law firms that are from mid-sized, small boutique firms, for instance in China, PRC registered lawyers. So this is not to do with looking at a telephone directory and saying, well, that's where you should be going. It's having worked with those lawyers.
But you do say in your release the world's top 200 law firms.
That's part of the actual services that we offer.
Right. So it's not exclusive to that.
It's not exclusive to that.
Let's talk China, now that you bring it up. What practically for an Australian company, how does it play out? If I want to move my business up and get a presence in China, how would it play out that I said to you, what, I need obviously to get this company registered in China, I'm needing some local know-how in order to execute that process. When do you deliver on my request? What's the timeline? What's the anticipated cost practically?
Every case is different, as you can appreciate. I mean, what happens generally is, say if you're in the manufacturing world or you know, automotive, you have to understand the nuances and the political sort of sphere first. Then you need typically PRC registered lawyers that understand what the property structure, what are the manufacturing sort of issues involved. You resolve those with the PRC registered lawyers. Then you get down to what our resource does is finds which of these local registered attorneys have done work, and then you negotiate with them, and the ones that actually come within the bid and is cost effective wins the work for our clients.
As a name, as an overarching name, the very word attorney has that US connotation. I know this is your background. Did you forever, at any point, think maybe I'm wiser to have a broader based title associated with this, so that the perception isn't necessarily of a narrow casting of it?
I think an attorney internationally is pretty well known. To say you're a solicitor could denote different kinds of connotations.
Yeah.
So I think attorney...
Indeed, they say at LA Airport, you know...
You do not want to be called a solicitor.
You don't want to be called a solicitor. For all the known reasons. Those have had to sort of, you know, say thanks but no thanks to various people. What kind of traction do you expect you'll get inside the first, I suppose, 12 months here in this market finally? How you judge it a success?
Well, we're already working with a lot of Australian and New Zealand companies. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this. It's been a lot of word of mouth. It's been a hard working process in terms of actually delivering the results and value adding to the clients without the need to actually do this. So I think this will help to make industries, you know, businesses and companies understand that there is a service out there like this that actually helps them.
And gaining access, how practically? Are you opening in Sydney and the major centres? What's the plan? What's the rollout?
We have already 5 offices around the world. We have a Sydney office as well, and it's very easy to get through to that office and contact us via email or even call us.
Did you ever think Perth, just because the mining boom, the proximity to Asia, that practically would stack up better than the East Coast?
I think because the website is national, that it's easily accessible, and anyone can actually just email and ask questions.
We wish you well. Thanks indeed for this early insight.
Thank you.
All the very
Thank you
best.
for having me.
Beatrice O'Brien there, founder and chairwoman of that new firm ACSI, of course the acronym, but it is Australian Attorney, at least Consulting Services International. Let's bring you up to speed with some of the stories making waves, in legal circles this week. Chris Merritt is legal editor at the Australian